Today's guest on the HD Connection is someone the world is in love with. No. Seriously. Now, he played 8 seasons in the NFL, and he's married to a wonderful country music artist. And from what a lot of people say, he's easy on the eyes as well. With that being said, I would like to welcome to the show, Eric Decker. Deck, what's good, baby?
Harry, man, it's a pleasure being on. I appreciate the introduction. That was nice. But I feel a little underdressed now. You're looking real good right now. Telling you.
I did the same thing to Brad Nessler. He told me the same thing. He was like, I feel like I'm underdressed, Harry. You should have told me.
Dress code just told me, hey, hop on. We should do a little interview. But look at you, man. It's like, damn. I need to be like
Dick, we played together. You knew how I was coming on here. From away game. I was coming suited and booted. All right, so I'm going to jump right into this, Deck, man. So playing with the Denver Broncos, playing with the Jets, playing with the Titans, what's one distinctive thing you remember the most about your playing days?
You know, I think it just first was, I guess, the real introduction to the NFL. So after the draft, reporting for rookie camp that offseason, and just, you know, the facility, the fact that that's your job now, and it was such a surreal moment, you know, because probably like you, it was a dream, childhood dream of mine to get to that level and to be around such great athletes, you know, great competitors. And that's really one moment that just sticks out, walking into the facility in Denver with the mountains in the background, just insane. And then I think really our chance going to the Super Bowl in Denver was probably one of the highlights of my career. Winning the AFC Championship at home, Denver had, you know, one of the best crowds, still has one of the best home crowds, I think, in the National Football League. And what a phenomenal experience that was to be able to do that.
Now, you mentioned the Super Bowl. I know that was a moment you didn't get a chance to win it. So that was a moment in your life where you had to face adversity. Right. If there's one thing that Super Bowl loss taught you, what was that one thing?
A little bit of taste of reality, you know, especially that season for us. We set every record offensively that still stands, I think, to this day. But it you know, being on cloud nine, like no one could stop us. And the way that game went, how Seattle just controlled it from the start, it was a reality that, you know, you can't just show up and things are going to just happen as you think. You got to grind, you got to work, and you got to deal with loss, and you got to pick yourself up, and you got to use that experience to keep chopping wood. As I say, is every day is an opportunity to get better. And I think it just was a reality again that, you know, when you have that chance, you got to soak every minute of preparation. You got to do everything you possibly can to win that moment. Unfortunately, we weren't, you know, at the best of our game at that time.
Now, you got to play with a Hall of Famer in Peyton Manning. They call him the sheriff. Down here in Atlanta, we call him Buckethead. You know what I mean? but / Buckethead, he can drop some dimes now. What was it like playing with Peyton Manning, man?
It was amazing. I think I credit obviously him to the success of you know, part of my career, and I learned a lot being around him. You know, the way I talk about preparation, the way he studied in the film room, the way he worked. Though he had that beer belly still, he worked his butt off in the workout room. When he got between the lines on the practice fields, there was no harder worker than him. And I think just the constant communication when we got into games, I mean, you see it. How he's at the line, he's kind of playing chess with the defense. He knows exactly what schemes are doing or what coverages they're in, so he'll audible and get us in the right place. And I mean, it was some of the most fun years of my life because we were just clicking, and it was just like we wear people out, especially in Denver, getting to the line, going fast. And, you know, on the field, he's very intense. He's the sheriff. He's kind of that natural born leader, but off the field, just a really good Southern dude. He liked to have a beer and, you know, be with the guys, and camaraderie was important to him. So he always brought people for dinners and gatherings to really, you know, work on that relationship, that bond that is so important off the field and translates on the field.
Now, you said something that was very key, and I want everyone to listen that's tuning in right now. Communication. Communication is key in every aspect of life, Dave. Which brings me to my next thing. There's a lot of talent in your household, Dave. But talented person might be your wife, Jessie James Decker. Tell me the story on how y'all actually met.
Yeah. Well, I'll give her, yeah, credit. I mean, she is the one that has probably the most talent. I think maybe I had some skills and I just found a way to work harder than some other people. But no, it was dude, it was so crazy how we met. It was my rookie year, lockout year. I traveled like crazy. I mean, I was in Brazil, went to Mexico, went to Sundance Film Festival, the X Games, LA, just kind of all over, and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be single for the rest of my career because this is awesome. And she was in a similar position too. She was on the road, kind of just focused on her career, on herself, and kind of finding herself at that point. And we got introduced through a mutual friend. I was in Arizona training, and she was actually on the road at the time. So we started texting. I honestly heard of her when I was in Minnesota because country music is big there, and heard her name, heard her playing the radio before, and was intrigued. And next thing I know, we're FaceTiming. It was, what was it at that time? I forgot what the dial-up FaceTime was, but we talked for hours for a month. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come to Nashville and visit. And I came for a weekend. We hit it off, and after that, we were basically inseparable. Every other weekend, we traveled to one another. 3 months later, I'm like, you're moving to Denver. Like you're coming for the season. And it's crazy how fast it transpired. Just like you kind of know when you know.
That's right. And you said something key there, man. When you know, you know. And there's no reason to be wasting time and A, B, C, or D. When you know that's the person for you. But I love how you are with Jessie and your kids. You're an amazing husband. You're an amazing father. You're always supporting her in everything she does. And she does the same thing with you. Speak on the importance of couples supporting one another on their journeys in life, because I think it's very, very important.
Yeah, no doubt. And, that's kind of the name to the game is, when you find a partner for life, and obviously, you have babies, and that's as a full-time job in itself, and trying to balance, kind of both those things. You have to kind of give and take. And so while I was playing, she kind of gave up a lot to be there as my support system. As I traveled to different teams, as I kind of was selfish in the sense of this is my time. I'm going to do what I need to do for myself. And once I got to retire, we got to kind of flip the script. She got to really take that time to dive deep into everything she wanted to do. And so it has worked out well that way. And like you said, I mean, it's all about giving, and the communication part of it is big too. You got to understand where you guys are at in terms of your needs personally, what it takes as a couple, and what it takes as a family to live a happy, successful life. And there's no right answer. Everyone's different, but you find your way through it. And I think you just enjoy all those experiences, all those opportunities that you get.
And one thing I've learned personally is that the way you are in year one, it's not going to be the way y'all are going to be in year 5. The way you are in year 5 is not going to be the way you're going to be in year 10. Each year, you're constantly growing. You're constantly changing. And like you alluded to, that support system, supporting one another in everything that you want to do. Communicating through things is very, very important. Now, after you retired, it allowed you to be home a lot more.
Yeah, it did.
Now, how was that adjustment? Because I know when I retired, Dick, my wife was like, okay, listen, you're coming home. You're trying to overtake my throne. You need to get back and relax a little bit. This is my spot. How was that for you?
Oh, I loved it for the first like 9 months. I was all in. I mean, I'm kind of a homebody anyways. And, I think our roles might be a little bit different because my wife's like the free spirited, creative, like kind of in her own world sometimes. And I'm so structured, detailed in sense of some of the control too, in terms of decision making or things at home. So it was a good transition. I think what I learned after, kind of the retirement phase or not having to answer anybody wore off was like, okay, I need to get back into something. Like I love the amount of time I got with my kids. I love the fact I got to wake up and go outside. I mean, I'd mow the lawn. I'd sit there and pick weeds. I mean, I would just do random stuff because it was on my own time. And then after a while, I was like, all right, I need that challenge. I need that something that to stimulate me again. And that's when, I started to find other things to get involved with, and still balance my schedule. I got to choose when to work, what those hours looked like. And I still enjoy that freedom.
Now, you mentioned your kids. How did your kids actually react? And how much do they love you actually being home on a consistent basis, man?
Oh, I mean, and my oldest was 5 at the time. So, she knew well enough that, like when I went to football, Daddy was gone for quite some time. So she was excited. And my boys too. It's such a good age to be at home. I got a 6, a 5, and a 2-year-old right now. And really just kind of all hands on deck in a sense at that age, and help with the diapers. And I think just as a father, as as a male figure, like it's so important for your kids to have that affection from them, just really their presence, because that builds their self-confidence, that builds kind of who they are too. And we have different needs as parents, as mothers are the caregivers. I think the men are the ones to give the confidence to the kids. So that time for me, just to be around, take them to activities, just spend extra hours, if it's reading or if it's learning how to bike, it was so nice to soak those moments up, and they enjoyed it.
And it's a great thing, Dick, because there's nothing like when you walk through that door, right? And that alarm time goes off, and all you hear is those little feet down the hallway coming to see Daddy. It's just something about them dads that them babies be loving Daddy. They want everything to do with their daddy. That's a great thing, man. And like I said, man, I'm proud of you, the husband you are, and the father. Now, I want to talk about Eric Decker, the public figure, because a lot of eyes can appreciate Eric Decker showing. So I put it that way, right? Now, who do you get it from? Do you get it from your mom? Do you get it from your dad, auntie, uncle? I want to know. The world wants to know. Who does Deck get it from?
Just a mix, man. I'll say as I get older, I feel like I've noticed myself morphing into my father. So if I ever would shave my beard and just keep a mustache and grow it out, there's a lot of resemblance to my dad for sure. In terms of personality, I mean, I'm stubborn as hell, so that's my father. But my mom's, super attentive and giving and caring. And I feel like I've got a lot of qualities because I grew up with my mom the most from her. But in terms of every, asset physically, I would say I look a lot like my father.
Okay. Now, in your household, the Decker household, who is the most sensitive out of everyone in your household?
It's between me and Eric Jr. Eric.
Know why I asked you though? When's your birthday, Dad?
March. I'm a Pisces.
I know it, Dad. I know you're a Pisces. March 15th, because my sister is March 14th. My nephew is March 15th. My brother is March 16th.
Dang.
Lord God behold. When I mean, those three are the most sensitive I've ever been around in my life.
Especially with, the personalities like yourself or my wife. It's like, here I am, just matter of fact, kind of like I'm not going to, have any gray area about it. It's black or white, and which I appreciate. That's why I think opposites attract, because, like you as my wife offer things that I can't give. And so for sure, though, I mean, it's crazy how, I can see myself in my son. And I think I was probably the same way growing up. You couldn't even discipline the child because he cries, he gets all sensitive, and it's like, every kid's different, which is amazing. And you find ways to navigate through issues or whatever. But it is pretty funny how now as a parent, you see yourself through your kids.
Now, what are some of the things that you have going on right now from a business standpoint?
Yeah, so I've been doing real estate investments in Nashville. Nashville, I'm sure as many people know, is just a booming city. Obviously with COVID, everything slowed down throughout the country, but people are moving here from Chicago, from San Francisco, the Northeast. I mean, so residentially, it's a big market. I think a lot of companies are finding out as well. There's a lot of positives to being in a no state income tax state, and just the cost of living and just everything as far as raising families. it goes that way. But been doing a lot of real estate stuff, and then also I jumped in with my wife last year, so acting as the president and like co-owner of Kitnish, which is her clothing brand. And man, I tell you what, I didn't know anything about apparel or a little of business in that regards, and I've talked about learning about shipping, fulfillment, the marketing plans, it's like as a football team, all these different positions. I mean, I specialized in receiver. I didn't know necessarily what the offensive line did, nitty gritty, obviously the holistic plan I knew, but so diving into those different categories has been exciting, and just kind of growing and scaling this business online. We got brick and mortar stores, plan on building more. So that's really sucked up most of my time. And outside of that, just been a room dad at school, helping out with, the little league stuff, coaching wise. All that really has kept me pretty busy.
Cool. So I have about 4 or 5 little short questions I want to ask you, right? So
Yeah.
some kids are at grandma's. You and Jessie have a nice night to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You had to pick a bottle of wine. What bottle of wine would you pick? And second, if y'all decide y'all don't want wine, you want to drink some hard liquor. What's your choice of liquor that you're gonna go to?
Well, let me start this way. I'll start the night off with a glass of bourbon. I usually go with like Woodford Reserve. It's kind of my go-to. And then we love wine, especially red wines. We've gotten into white wines too, but Cabernets are kind of our go-to. Dariouche is like one of the vineyards we love drinking, so we'd open a bottle of that, and jump in the bath, have some alone time. I think our date night really isn't so much of the kids at grandma's house. We're not going out. We're staying in. We're soaking up that time alone at home, and so that would be kind of probably the night right there. Dariouche and a bath that maybe leads to a little Netflix and chill.
See, I'm a red wine guy, and my favorite is Duckhorn Merlot.
Oh yeah.
I haven't got into the white.
You always got that at dinner. I remember that.
Oh man. Now, second question I have: if you had one day left on this earth, and you had to pick a meal that you wanted to eat before the day was over with, what's your go-to?
Wow, that's a good one. I kind of always lean towards Italian food. I love pasta. So it would be probably my wife makes a killer bolognese. That probably would have to be that with some garlic bread, a little salad to start. That's kind of would be what I'd go with.
Okay, good answer.
Yeah.
Who is the funniest person in the Decker household?
That's a toss-up between Jess and my little guy Forrest. So I would say the order of the kids, like my oldest is the most detailed, the pleaser, the perfectionist. The middle child's, he's my sensitive guy. My young one is like the wild child. He's just like, I'm here and no one's gonna tell me what to do. I don't care. He's got long hair to his shoulders. This cat, he'll dress up in 6 different Avenger costumes every day, from Captain America to Thor to Black Panther to you name it, Hulk, and he'll walk around and just be goofy as all. But my wife too. My wife's got a good sense of humor, and that's honestly what keeps this house alive and fun. And
you need it. You need it. I'm telling you,
humor.
My daughter would say something so crazy or do something, and I have to sit there and bust out laughing because it's just, or my son, like, and it's, those kids are blessings, man.
Yeah,
like,
they are.
They bring out a different side of you, Deck, and it's just hilarious. And it's times where they're not even trying to be.
Right.
They're just being themselves and exploring life at a young age.
Right. Yeah. It's the innocent humor that is so great, for sure.
So 2 more for you. Next one I have is, what's the most unique place that you've traveled?
Unique New York. You know what? I think I haven't got to do enough traveling, but I went to Ireland last year, and really the countryside of Ireland. And I mean, it just, for me, I've been to like South America, Mexico, Canada, but I haven't been in enough places in Europe and Asia and different stuff to probably really speak on this, but my favorite has been Ireland for sure, just because it's such a different world. I mean, honestly, you fly in, and you're kind of in the countryside, so not Dublin or a big city, and it's literally just farm after farm with sheep, and the air is fresh, and the water with the crazy weather was unique. It was a different pace of life, just kind of a refreshment from the fast pace that America can be sometimes. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Now, a lot of people don't even realize, or probably don't even know this, but you played at the University of Minnesota, football and baseball. Tell me why you chose football instead of baseball. Because you got drafted to the major leagues in baseball as well.
Yeah. Baseball was actually my first love. I mean, I grew up, Minnesota Twins at that time were World Series champs, and Kirby Puckett, that's who I wanted to be for.
Can you not remind me, because they beat the Braves?
They sure did. Yeah.
Remind me.
91. Yeah. Was it 89 maybe, or 80? Yeah, one of those years. Yeah, dude. I mean, I love baseball, and I think I came to realize, and I got a chance to talk to Joe Mauer, because Joe Mauer came out of high school. I mean, he's number one draft pick out of the MLB, but he had a full ride scholarship to Florida State, and I was like, what made you decide baseball? And he's just more passionate about it. And I think for me, there's the same thing. Football was the camaraderie, it was the team sport that this is more it's fast paced. It's, the highs and lows, the energy of it just was more exciting. And also I think with that too, is I was just more developed as a football player. Baseball, you can get caught in the minor leagues. You're on the road 150 days out of the year. So long-term goal, I knew I wanted a family, and I kind of liked consistency. I liked knowing exactly, I got to go home. And for football, we traveled 2 days, maybe 3 days at a time. It wasn't for weeks at a time. And so that was a factor as well. And just football gave me the satisfaction of you either made it or you didn't. Where baseball, you could be on that, bus eating PB&Js for 3 years before you got called up to AAA. So that was
PB&J, the sunflower seeds.
That's it. Right.
Deck, man, I appreciate you joining the HD Connection. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Eric Decker. Thanks, bud.
Appreciate you, brother.